All right, we check in with Veronica Sites this morning on Memphis Morning News. Veronica, thank you for joining us. It's good to talk to you once again. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic under the busy circumstances.
I can only imagine. So you guys are working, I suppose, not only with people right now, but you try to help people prepare leading up to an emergency. And so this must have been something you tried to help people plan for, and then you're having to help people deal with at this point. You are in Houston, and thanks for making a couple minutes for us today.
Well, thank you. I am. I'm actually. I do want to clarify. I am not in Houston just yet.
You're headed that way.
Yeah, we take our official marching orders from FEMA. When they give us the green light, then we will go in. But at this point, the situation with all the rains is not stable to the extent where they want anybody other than search and rescue responders, and of course those that are immediately stepping up to help their neighbors.
Now, if you've been to a situation like this in the past, any kind of emergency like this, what do you think strikes you most that we may not see or hear about on the news?
What strikes me the most is the human vulnerability and just the opportunity to bring to the front lines something that is very much needed. And what is needed most by the listeners is an understanding that mental health does not mean mental illness. There are steps and measures that can be taken to help people through traumatic stress, and that is my passion.
And, you know, with this type of situation, I know we've talked about on this program, we've talked about emergency preparedness. In fact, we were pondering, getting one of our local emergency management officials on to talk about how to put together emergency preparedness, kit and all these things, Veronica. But one of the things that's got to be on that checklist, if you have a family with young kids, is to be able to not just keep them occupied while waiting for getting some help, but also to, what the heck was that? Is to be able to keep the kids from being in a panic and being able to help them through stressful times like this. Because we've seen the pictures of people on the roof with their kids. I mean, that's got to be very traumatic, not just for the adults, but especially so for children who don't necessarily have the ability to cope with stuff like this.
Yeah, and the reality is most human beings don't have the ability to cope with it without some kind of insight that certain things are normal under stressful and traumatic circumstances. However, the best thing parents can do is be honest with your kids. This is scary for me too, but as a family, reassure that child that you are going to do everything to provide safety for them, and discuss a plan. Ask the child, what do you think we should do? Involve them in conversation so that they learn to navigate in a healthy way as opposed to hide their fears, suppress it because mom and dad are so anxious and trying to hide the fact that emotions are high for everybody. But children, if and when they are trained transparently, they have the skills in the future to make a huge difference in themselves, their families, and their communities as well.
Yeah, very much so. Hey, Veronica, thank you so much for a couple minutes with us this morning. I know you're extremely busy. Safe travels to you, and hopefully get to talk to you again real soon.
Yeah, thanks so much.